Z, author, speaker, nerd. She, since her first Motorola Razr flip phone, Beth has made a verb out of the word nerd. She's here to help you filter through thousands of apps, gadgets, widgets, and doodads to find the perfect free and bargain technology tools for work and home. Although the only real trophy she has ever won was for making perfect French fries at McDonald's in high school, Beth Z has been featured on best speaker lists by several organizations who write best speaker lists. She has written a whole shelf of books on apps and has spoken to more than 100,000 audience members just like you. And if you're puzzling over why she goes by Beth Z, it's because she only finds about 3 people a year who can pronounce her last name. So please join me in welcoming the chick who spent recess in middle school grading papers for teachers, your nerdy best friend, Beth Z.
Oh, thank y'all so much. Hi, I'm Beth Z, your nerdy best friend, and I had a grand entrance and it didn't work. I told you the cat was going to jump on my head and it didn't work. So I have a pledge I'd ask people to make. Please raise your right hand and put it on the chat box and pretend you are holding it up like this. Actually, I can see you, so please hold it up like that. I promise to not get mad if technology goes wrong or if the cat is on Beth's head. Put in the chat, I'm with you if you promise or I promise. Because we have a lot of technology here. We have a lot of moving parts. One of them has fur. And let's see. Oh, there they come. Phew. thought nobody was with me. But we have a lot of moving pieces and parts. Things might go wrong. I just want you to know that's what happens to tech people. Besides, it'll make you feel better if the tech person stuff goes bad. You know it's true. Okay, so what an exciting time to be a nerd. These days, so much is going on with technology, and I can't wait to tell you. I'm so excited that Timmons invited me back, virtually or not, to speak here. I was there, what was it, 2015 or something? You get bonus points if you think I've gotten taller and thinner. Thank you. But so much has happened, and we are just going to jump right in. Now you can see that I've got kind of a weird thing going on here. Everything that I'm doing is here. There won't be any screen sharing where the screen gets bigger. So my husband hates it when I say this. Make my head as big as possible so that you can see everything that's on the screen. Maximize what's going on here. All right, let's get started. This is all about ChatGPT and all the wonderful things we can do here. Throughout this session, by the way, I'm going to be asking for input on the chat. Please keep it open. I'm going to be maybe asking for volunteers. It depends on how things flow. And we're probably also going to go into a breakout session because I want y'all to ponder something together for a minute. So just keep an open mind about all the things we're going to do and make my head big, and we'll get going. ChatGPT is one of those rare moments in technology where you see a glimmer of how everything is going to be different moving forward. This was from a gentleman who runs a company called Box. Box is a competitor to Dropbox. It's one of those file sharing tools. And file sharing tools, the cloud-based sharing tools, were at one time a big revolution. This is far beyond what we have seen there. Let me give you a little bit of perspective here. In way back when Instagram started, it took a year and a half for them to get to 100,000 users on their platform. Well, I think my numbers are right. When TikTok started, it took 100 million. I don't know, some big numbers. When TikTok started, it took 9 months. And when this stuff started, it took less than a month. I think it's 100 million users to get on the platform. It's phenomenal. We've never seen anything like this. Never seen it go so fast. Do you feel like, and go in the chat, do you feel like everybody but you knows about ChatGPT? What experience have you had with it? Tell me in the chat and let me know what kind of background you have with it. Are you a part of it already? Are you using it already? Have you heard about it and kind of gotten uncomfortable? Where are you in the process? I am watching the chat. Young staff uses it, no experience, want to use it, hearing about it all the time, never used, trying to learn about it, daily user, Jacob, Nerd Power, writing a business plan, using it for marketing, experimenting with it. So you see you're all over the map here. That's exactly what we're talking about. Now, people like Jacob, he says he's using it every day. Some of the younger people in the office, someone said, using it every day. But you're just tapping the surface, and some of you haven't even gone to tap. You've just heard about it and you're like, uh-oh, I better get onto this. Chat GPT is just taking over everything. Here is Mark Cuban. He says, my 13-year-old just asked ChatGPT to write a trash talk about his buddy's favorite NFL team and texted it to him. Things have changed forever. These are the kind of things we're seeing and the kind of leaps we're making. This is what ChatGPT's first iteration of front page looked like, and it tells you a lot. So I wanted to go back to this because it gives you some of the limitations. The examples it gives are just a beginning of the touch points it has. The capabilities, it remembers what has been said. It allows us for follow-up corrections. It's trained to decline inappropriate requests, kind of. The limitations, it may lie like a rug, and it does. It sometimes produces harmful instructions or biased content, and then it doesn't know anything after 2021, right? It only is trained on everything from 2021 back. So I want to just go straight into it and show you the basics. Now, the first thing I'm going to need is a volunteer. And we're going to start off with kind of something that a lot of us had to do. I want to volunteer somebody who has to write your own performance review every once in a while. Anybody out there want to volunteer, and we'll walk you through how to do your own performance review? I'm not sure if people are raising their hands, but you can put it in the chat so I can see it right there.
See, James has his hand up.
All right, so could we spotlight our person? Hey, James, how are you? There we go. We're going to get you unmuted here.
Doing
there
great,
we go.
thanks.
Oh, perfect. Welcome. So, James, here is what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a series of questions about you. So you've had to write your own performance review or had to write others?
Yeah, my own.
Your own, yeah. Sometimes that's a little uncomfortable. How long does it usually take you to write one?
I don't know if my higher ups are here, so I'm going to decline to answer that.
I'm going to throw out a number. You kind of give me a wink if it's about that. About 4 hours pondering and about 2 weeks. Okay, less. Let's pretend it's 4 hours because I think a lot of people have trouble with this. Plus, there's the 3 or 4 weeks of procrastinating, knowing you have to do it.
Oh yeah, okay. If you count that, that's definitely. It's like it's due in a month. Well, the day it's due, it's like, oh yeah, I got to do this.
Yeah, you're like, How much do you enjoy doing it?
What in the negative of the scale?
In the negative, yeah. Very few of us are like, I'm going to write some good things and some horrible things about myself and show it to other people. That is generally not something we enjoy. So I'm coming over here to ChatGPT. Now, here is a warning to y'all. When you go right now, some of you are on your phone already. You're looking at Facebook because maybe you think I'm boring. No, you're on your phone looking for the app for ChatGPT. There is no official app for ChatGPT itself. The only ChatGPT is actually on the web through OpenAI. So there's a whole bunch of things that look exactly like it. They're not it, but a lot of people use it. So James, I'm going to write a performance review for James. What's your last name?
Parisi, Parisi.
In his role, his is your preferred pronoun?
Yeah.
In his role as, what is your role?
Business development consultant. Yep.
For what company?
The Business Enterprise Center.
How long have you been there?
Center RE. It's the British version.
Oh, I'm sorry. Coming to you live from Nashville, where we can't spell the word center Canadian wise.
15 years.
Okay. James has been there 15 years. What are your strengths? What are you good at?
Communication, computer skills, research skills.
All right. And be honest, what do you need to work on?
Persuasion. Getting people to see my point of view.
On making strides with his projects and ideas by persuading colleagues to listen and act, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right. And let's see. What are your goals with the company that you might be working toward?
Helping to streamline processes to make us more productive, specifically with all our tech applications.
You're trying to get everybody to try Asana and they won't, correct?
No.
But you're trying to, you've got some ideas about some technology that can move us forward and get us on the same page. And people are
or how to make the ones that we currently use, how to use them to their fullest capacity.
All right, how's that? So here we go, reply to performance review. So I'm going to click go. We'll see what happens. All right. He's been an essential member. There you go. Serving as a business development consultant. His tenure, he's been demonstrated strong skills in communication, computer proficiency, and research, making him a valuable asset. One of his greatest strengths is the ability to communicate. He has exceptional talent for expressing ideas and concepts to clients. Is that true?
Yeah.
All right. And building strong relationships. You're always willing to lend a helping hand. And are you friendly?
Yeah.
All right.
The beard just scares people, but I'm generally friendly.
It scared me a little. I'll say it. No, just joking. His technical skills are impressive. He's always willing to learn new software and systems. James has also demonstrated excellent research skills, identifying new markets and opportunities for the organization. Is that true?
Opportunities, not necessarily markets.
Okay, we'll leave it though, because it doesn't really matter that much in our sample. Room for improvement. James could benefit from focusing on making strides with his project and ideas. He has many innovative ideas, but he needs to work on persuading. Yep. And focus on helping. Yep. There we go. All right. instead of 4 hours, which was a number I made up, but that's how long these kind of things take me, and a month of procrastination, you have within, what was that, 4 seconds? The entire thing. Do you think this is a pretty good first draft for you, James?
Fair enough. I mean, we've got a weird template that it's not quite like this, but yeah, that works out.
And you could actually feed a copy of that template into here and say, break it up by this. And it will play along with that. But that was kind of dry. And James, I think you have a sense of humor. Do you have a little sense of humor?
Sure thing.
All right. So I'm going to go make it funny. All right. Well, it's time for the performance review. He's been with 15 long years. We couldn't get rid of him if we tried. Just kidding. We love you. You're an excellent communicator, which is great because he talks a lot. He's a tech whiz, and we're pretty sure he's part robot. He knows his way around a computer better than most of us. James, do you have a USB port somewhere? So it is a little funny. And we're not saying you need to take up stand-up comedy, but a few jokes might help. All right. We're excited to see what gadgets he'll bring to the table, but please, no more robots. We're trying to recover from the last. All right. So that is Make It Funny. Now, James, do you like country music?
Not at all.
Okay. That's a shame. What kind of music do you like?
Punk rock or thrash metal.
Give me the name of a band you like, the fairly well-known band.
Slayer.
All right. Rewrite as a SLAYR? No.
ER.
ER song. Now you're going to have to sing this.
Oh, really?
No, nobody wants that, James.
Okay, I will.
All right, give me a chorus.
James Parisi, business slayer, conquer challenges without a prayer. Research skills, second to none. Computer skills, it's second to none. Close your eyes, look deep in your soul, step outside yourself. That was a Slayer song. I was just going.
There, he's gone on. You get bonus points for for doing that. So thank you, James. Everybody clap for James. You look at all the love you're getting in the chat. All right, and he's out. So that took no time at all, and what we just saw was the lowest common denominator, the easiest thing you can have it do, which is write something for you and use that, and then put a different style on it, put a different spin on it, write something for you. So James covered the basis of the beginning, the easiest thing you can do. Now, James, I'm going to pretend to be your career coach, and this is completely hypothetical, and if James's teammates or boss is on here, he is not looking for another job. However, let's say, James, you are looking for another job. We're going to go to the next level of concepts for what ChatGPT can do. So let's say act as a career coach. James wants to start working for the Chamber of Commerce as a webinar coordinator. Make a list of specific skills that James will have to be a great webinar coordinator for the Timmins INS, or Chamber of Commerce, based on what he does for the center. All right, let's see what it does. Excellent communication skills, technology skills. He should have experience with Zoom and others as well as basic other skills. He should pay close attention to details, and he should have strong project management skills and experience working with clients. He should be able to do this. This is all the things that are going to carry over. All right, and then write a cover letter to the Timmins Chamber to apply for that job. There we go. There you go. It's all laid out there. Now, act as the Timmins Chamber of Commerce and write a job description for the position that James wants. So you can see it goes beyond, way beyond just write something for me, and it goes to analyzing different things, comparing different things, bringing them together. Experienced web coordinator, plan, organize them, develop content, market them, handle registrations, that kind of thing. And the things that you need to be able to do, and full-time position, and they're going to pay you $1 billion and submit your resume. That's it. But it takes almost anything you need to do to another level and gives you amazing resources to do so. So let's go back to our concept here. OpenAI is the main company that does this, the main one we've been hearing about. And OpenAI can generate text, which is what we just showed you, summarize things. Let me show you one other thing that I have it do all the time. So I noticed that y'all have, and this is a part of this, a series of wonderful programs that the Chamber is putting on, right? Here we are. And here we have one that is 1 hour and 22 minutes long, which is fantastic. It's on succession planning, for preparing for your replacement. So I'm going to click on preparing for your replacement. And I am going to ask it now. Let me shrink this a little bit so it shows up on the side. I have downloaded a plugin. Can you make the screen big? So is the screen, this is as big as it gets here. Can other people see it? Kim, see if you can expand my window, because that's where all the information is going to be. I hope that helps for you. If not, I'm recording this and they're recording it, so you should be able to see it later. So here we have it's 1 hour and 20 minutes. I only have 3 minutes to be able to absorb this. So I'm going to click this add-on that I have. It's called View AI Summary. And it's going to take the transcript and modify the whole thing and put it into 5 bullet points. So this is the transcript. I'm scrolling down, I'm scrolling down, I'm scrolling down. I'm still scrolling down. It's about succession planning, which involves preparing for this. Lisa Wilson is the guest speaker. Smart analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is the first step. Be clear on the mission and should be reviewed every 6 months. That is a 5 bullet points. And I can say, write more of the points from the video. It's going to go back there and give us a little bit more information. And then you can say, expand on how short-term problems should be handled, and that it can do that. And it has totally read the whole thing for you. Oh, great. Thank you, Kim. I'm glad you got it. It has totally read the thing for you and summarized it for you. Now that's an hour and 22 minutes that would have been well spent watching that video, but now you don't have to. And it's funny because people are going to be watching the replay of this and they're going to now go over to the video, click that, and not have to hear the rest of the program. Huh. Fantastic. I just cut short my own capabilities. So it can summarize things for you. It can analyze things for you. We did a very quick analysis of take a typical job description for this, apply the skills that this person has, and put it up there. It can translate things for you. So you can put information in there and immediately get translations back in dozens of languages, I think. It can categorize things for you. So you can throw a bunch of data in there and say, categorize these comments from our last event by sentiment, and it will do it for you, and then it'll answer and explain. And that still is just a portion of the things we're dealing with here. So one of the things I want you to do, because ChatGPT can do things for every profession. Like I'm a professional speaker and an author. I can say, how can a speaker and an author use ChatGPT? But I want each one of you to go to a separate window and use ChatGPT or just Google how can I use ChatGPT, my role. For example, if you are subscribed to ChatGPT, which is it's free to register and it's free to use. I pay the $20 to upgrade. You can do that. You can also go to Bard is another one. This is by Google. You can do that. You can go to a lot of places, but I want you to Google, and if you don't want to go into the ChatGPT, you can just Google, how can ice cream shop owners use ChatGPT and that technology? And once you get that answer, I want you to copy and paste it or give us some information about what you found in the chat. Because one of the things is that every single time you ask ChatGPT or one of these tools the same question, it will give different answers, even though you ask them at the same time in the same place and you're all in the same room, it doesn't matter. So find out what it can do for you. Play around with that for a second and give us some ideas. It could be your role as a marketer. It could be your role. It could be your specific industry, whatever you want to know what it can do for you, and give us some ideas. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. Interesting. It says BARD is not supported in our country. Give it till next week. It'll be everywhere. Someone just asked, what is the question again? The question is, what I want you to do is go to Google or go to one of these specifically and say, how can ChatGPT help whatever your role is, marketers, whatever your industry is, people who own ice cream shops, what have you. Oh, be used by teachers to generate reading passages, write notes to parents, teach vocabulary. You don't have to go into the ChatGPT tool right now if you don't want to, if you haven't registered or what have you, or if like Bard, for example, is apparently not in Canada yet. But you can go into Google and just Google that, and other people have written about how it can help you. So James says you need to enter a mobile telephone number. Don't register then. Don't worry about it. Don't use it. go into Google and ask the same question. And you can also, and I'm not sure that this is in, I think it's in Canada. If you have the Microsoft Edge tool, search engine, not search engine, Microsoft Edge browser, it's built into the browser now, this same version. Businesses are making data-driven decisions, enhancing operational activity, and boosting production. Fantastic. It also, once you get an answer, you can also say, give me the answers beyond the obvious, right? Like it can write blog posts for you. Give me the answers beyond the obvious, and it'll get more creative, or expand on how it can enhance operational efficiency, that kind of thing. And ask it more and more and more. That's one of the keys to working with ChatGPT is it's like your best person ever who a master's degree helper who is sitting on your shoulder giving you information. All right, I know some of y'all are Googling away and getting some great ideas. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and give you some information about what else we can do here. But I really want to give you some history. So back in the day, well, we're going to do this in just a second. How did this get all get started? Now, I've been using this same technology for 2.5 years, believe it or not. It has been around. ChatGPT or GPT-3 was what started the whole thing in terms of getting a lot of publicity. In May of 2020, when we were very busy worrying about the future of the world and making banana bread, GPT-3 came out, and it's generative processing. I forgot what it stands for. It doesn't matter. It's a dumb name, dumb acronym that doesn't roll off your tongue. But GPT-3 became a thing, and the first paper was released in May of 2020, and it was totally overlooked because all of us were completely obsessed with, I don't know, what seemed to be the end of the world. And they released it in June. The API was released in June. So by November of 2021, they opened up the API even further. And by January of 2020, so they limited released the API. And then by January of 2021, there were like 5 companies that were using it. When they released the API generally to everybody, by the time it was January of 2022, there were probably 150 tools that were using this. And they were all based on writing things for you. They didn't yet have the analytical mind we're seeing now. And then on November 30th, 2022, OpenAI, this one company, released an update called GPT 3.5 and put it in this format that we know of as ChatGPT. And the main characteristics that were different, it's not, before it was just kind of a one way, you put the information that you wanted on there and it spits something out. And it wasn't a conversation. Now it's a conversation that you can refine and refine. And I can tell you, I went to one of the first conferences related to this back on, it was Valentine's Day this year. And we had the leaders from OpenAI, Bard, all of the major ones were on the stage together. And this is a little stereotypical, this is a little sexist, but I promise you, it seemed like teenage boys up there poking something and seeing what it did. Seriously, they were all young men who kept saying things like, we have no idea what it's going to do. We just kept trying things out to see what it could do. And then it could do that. And then it could do that. When they released ChatGPT, everybody freaked out and got so excited. And the people who released it were like, what is happening? This has been around for a couple of years. We've all been using it for a couple of years. Why is everybody so excited? But they didn't realize what they had done. And so it blew up. The same technology that brought us this ChatGPT is doing a lot of different things. It's a large language model, LLM. And to explain that a little bit, these tools ate all of the internet, ate it, digested it, understand it. They created, they call it a massive corpus. I didn't even know what a corpus was. A corpus is a body of writing, and it absorbed all of the corpuses. I don't even know if that's a thing in the universe, and gave us these huge databases of information. And the way it works is it's absorbed all this information. It knows how people write and how to expect things. So it writes a few words, and then it predicts what the next words probably are. And then it predicts further out. It predicts further out. And the amount it has been able to produce at one time, and the predictions that it's been able to do is one of the things that's been increasing majorly. But in addition to being able to write for you, part of the technology is able to design for you. Now, you may have seen this before. I'm going to go into a couple of things. How many of y'all, put it in the chat, have Canva, the tool Canva? Anybody? All right, quite a few of you. Cool. This is embedded in Canva now, and Canva has totally embraced this stuff. So about a month ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago, Canva had its releases of its new features. And so if you go to the homepage of Canva, it'll say, open each gift to discover a new feature. And they have these little gift boxes. So if you go to your homepage there, you can see them all in one place. Some of these are for the pro version, which I highly recommend. It's the best money I spend on technology. And some of them are for the basic version. But Magic Write, that is their ChatGPT embedded in the technology, right? Magic Edit and Eraser, all this is based on the same concept. So let me show you what Magic Edit and Eraser does. So let's see. I have my screen very large. There we go. Magic Eraser. You have a picture of a daisy and you want to turn it into a rose. Well, you erase the daisy, highlight the daisy, write what you want it to be, and click generate, and it changes it to a rose. I call this #helpful but creepy. This is all built into Canva, and when it's in beta, it's free for everybody most of the time. Here's another thing it did. How many of y'all have ever had to do a presentation or put together information on a topic? Probably many of us. So this is called Magic Design, is the tool, and I'm going to try it out for you here. Let's see, use 5 or more words to describe your presentation topic. So I'm going to say, a 5 things to do when it snows 5 feet or more. There we go. Maybe 5 meters or more. I'll do 5 feet. Choose yours. And I'm going to click enter. Then it is creating a presentation. All right. Then we get to choose what style we want. Let's see. I kind of like, we'll do this one. And then we click create our presentation. Guess what it just did? It created a presentation. I'm going to click present. And let me go, yeah, present. Can y'all see that? Somebody tell me I can't see the chat.
We see it.
Okay, perfect. So obviously I didn't write this earlier. 5 things to do when it snows 5 feet or more. I'm going to click introduction. When the snow starts piling up, take advantage of the winter wonderland. Here are 5 activities. It found the graphics. It wrote the text. It organized the points. Make sure you have enough food and water, stock up on supplies, have a backup heating source, stay warm and safe. I was thinking of fun things to do, but yeah, you can, stay inside, whatever. Find okay, build a snow fort. All right, use a saw or shovel. snowmobiling and snowshoeing. I don't know why they showed an iceberg with that. That was kind of sad because you can't snowmobile in that situation. You wouldn't even jet ski there. And make a snowman. Why didn't they do a snowman there? But that's it. And then you can go back in and change it all. That is another thing that happened with ChatGPT and Canva. And then it also try out Magic Design. Same kind of concept. You just upload a picture and it will design things for you. So I did this one the other day. This was networking, and it creates designs for me in a second. Let's see. Again, I have it very large, so you can't see all of them. In a second, then you can change the style, you can change the colors, you can add your own headline, but in seconds, you have a wonderful setup. And then let me click back on my article here. And I decided that I didn't like this picture, snowshoeing or snowmobiling. I didn't think that picture was good. So I'm going to go over here to something called apps. It's in your menu. And then I'm going to click text to image. Now, instead of snowshoeing or snowmobiling being an iceberg, I might say illustration of a grandmother on a snowmobile in a illustration of a grandmother on a snowmobile having a great time. Sounds like the snowmobile is having a great time, but maybe it is. And let's see, what style do we want? Anybody have any suggestions? Minimalist, neon, retro wave, 3D model. What do you think? Let's go color pencil. All right. And I'm going to click create. Now, this one, I think if you have the free version, you only get one sample for free. And if you get the paid version, you have a lot more. So here we are. This is fun. That one doesn't look like a grandma really, but there you go. You have a woman hanging out and being on a snowmobile. I don't know what a snowmobile looks like anymore, but doesn't this look more like a go-kart or something? That's not much of a snowmobile. But very quickly, you have a wonderful little graphic, and you can do them and you own them, because that's another thing. So one of the things, now that I've shown you a few of the things that it can do, I want you to play around with this. Now there's a site called TinyWow. The reason I'm sending you here to play around with it for a second is because it's 100% free. You don't have to register and you can try things out. Now, it's not as good as Canva. So if you have Canva, you can do it there. TinyWow is the site. It was created 2021, and it was just this person who says, I would like these little free things. So it's got everything from converting PDFs to a business plan generator, all kinds of things. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to go to the page, and then I'm going to put this link in the chat. And I want you to go to the AI image generator and try out the AI image generator. Now, if you would rather try out, and you haven't done it yet, and try out the writing, you can also do the AI writing tools in TinyWow. Let's see. All AI write. And I'm going to put that in there as well. So try out either one. And now in Zoom, you can upload a picture into the chat. So let's see what kind of things you come up with. Again, it's not going to be as good as Canva. It's not going to be as good as a lot of the other tools, because all of them use different search engines or different engines to drive these. but it's probably going to be pretty good. I'll put the same prompt in here and we'll see what we get. But it's a good way to see what's possible. One of the interesting things about all of these tools is that they cost money every time we do them. And they cost energy and they cost money. So this is just the beginning. It costs the group money. A lot of these things are free, and OpenAI is losing tons of money because they're just giving it away for free. TinyWow is losing money because they are paying for every time we do it. Playing with broccoli. Oh, that's cute. That's very funny. Let's see. I want to show you something that I just found too. While you are doing that, I'm going to go to mine is still processing here. I also have a lot of, there we go. Oh, look, I think it did a better job. If you asked it to, if you asked it to do people, note that people and eyes and hands and faces are sometimes very, very, very crazy. Seems to be taking time to process. Would firewalls and security in an organization prevent use of this? Possibly. A lot of groups are trying to block ChatGPT. Some organizations are like, we shall not use it. That is not going to work, because what people are doing are they're saying, okay, they blocked it at work. I'm going to use my phone. I'm going to put it under my desk. I'm going to use ChatGPT on the website there, and then I'm going to send it to myself, and I've done it. So what they're doing is sending the work that people are doing into hiding. So firewalls may do it. Sometimes I've got some ad blockers that may do it. Sometimes it's going to take a long time because there are a lot of people tapping it at the same time. ChatGPT is notorious for going out and not giving us the ability to do it. Now in the chat, just write to me, have you had any luck? Is it working? It's just fun to play with. I mean, this is hours of entertainment. So Kim was able to do it. And this one is 100% free and 100% anonymous. Taking a long time to generate. Yep. If you have Canva, you can do it there. If you have registered for ChatGPT, you can go on. There are a few more sites. By the way, I haven't put this one in there yet, but you can, I haven't done any of that yet. These are so up to date. I found this article this morning that sometimes I forget to put all the things in there. You are going to get a list of all of the things that ChatGPT can do, or not all of the things that ChatGPT can do, but all of these different AI sites as part of your bonus handouts. So I will put everything in there, Carmen, and have it for you to send out at the end. Also, if you want to, you can go to my website and get another resource. You just need to sign up and get the little book of apps for free on my site. And that will also put you on my newsletter, which everybody wants to be on forever and ever. All right, so you've had a chance to play with it. Now I want to give you a chance to think about it. I want everybody, I'm going to create a QR code, or I'm going to just copy the link and I'm going to paste it in here. I want everybody to go to this link. This is from my Facebook page, and I created a list of some of the things that ChatGPT can do. And it's kind of, what have you tried? Give yourself a point for that kind of thing. Because I want you to have this when we go into a group. So here's the deal. We're going to do breakout rooms, and I want you to answer 2 questions. What am I excited about for the future of ChatGPT and this technology for my business? And what am I worried about for the future of ChatGPT and how it affects the world? And we're going to go into breakout rooms, and I will send you those questions in the breakout room so you know. 2 questions. What am I excited about? And what am I worried about? Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. And we're going to spend about 10 minutes. I want you to introduce yourselves. This is a networking event as well. And just, make sure that everybody knows who everybody is. And then I want you to say, what are you excited about and what are you worried about? Maybe we'll be able to answer some of those questions about what you're worried about when we come back. Okay? Everybody good? Ready to play or ready to chat? All right. Closing in 24 seconds officially. People are coming back.
I don't think I meant to leave my group, but I did quickly. So I hit the thing and there it was, but that's okay.
They're like, where'd she go? All right. All right. So I am going to, did y'all all have your room names or your room numbers? Like, did you remember them? Yeah, I don't think we'll do it like that. We'll just go through and ask people who was the spokesperson. So what I want to do is everybody had different conversations, and I want to kind of summarize or hear from different groups about what you talked about and your biggest fear and the thing you're most excited about that came out from your group. So let's see, the group that had Scott, Pam, Kim, Joel, Brandy, and Bailey, where's your spokesperson?
I think I'll be the spokesperson.
All right. So, tell us what your group talked about, your biggest fear and your biggest excitement.
Yeah, so biggest fear, I think we're just talking about how information will be shared, like privacy and security. Not only like the information that you're putting in terms of maybe your clients or your work, but then also your own information. Like James had put in the chat, he didn't want to give his cell phone number when he signed up. Like what is happening with that information you use when you signed up. And then also, even the side of things where you'll be, students could be using it to write essays, or people could be using it in a sense that, it's supposed to be their own work. And then, it's really just the AI generated work. And then the lack of creativity coming out of that. So people are going to stop using, their brains to think and just generate it through the platform. In terms of exciting things, like it could definitely save some time. So, we talked about summarizing books or summarizing videos, right? Like that's 2 hours that you could save just in a summary reading it instead of watching that through for a couple hours, or even like, kind of you had explained with James, like I said, writing, drafting letters or speeches, press releases, for example, policy memos, that could definitely save some time. Whereas before you'd spend a few hours drafting something, at least it could potentially create a base and then you can improve it from there.
Ah, excellent. I'm going to see what kind of trends we have and address some of these concerns for sure. Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's see the group that was Beth, Courtney, Deanna, Ingrid, Jasmine, and Jennifer. Who was your spokesperson?
it's Jasmine here. I'll be the spokesperson.
All right.
So we were a bit similar to Bailey's group as well. Some of the sort of, I guess, fears we had were what will be real and what won't be. So I think just worrying that it might be something people become more dependent on, and how can we make sure that it's more of a tool rather than a end all be all. We talked a bit about education and how we can see this in universities. How will it take over? How will they mitigate that? What will professors do to make sure not every single essay is coming from AI? And I know that you can even say make 5 spelling mistakes and things like that, so it can really get detailed where it's going to be tricky to figure that out. But as far as wins, I think we see it really as our group really discussed using it as a tool, using it to help either writing, longer written content or shorter. Deanna also touched on social media and how, marketing, we can use it to just help sort of create, but of course the human piece to edit that and to really keep it personal. And yeah, I think it'll definitely be a tool more than, something that we rely on.
That's our hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you very much. Now the group, Barb, she was in it twice, Jennifer, Kim, and Nicola. Barb, is that
Okay.
you? Are you? There we go.
Hi, I'll speak for our group. So what we're excited about is the speed of productivity, and also you can enhance what is written. What we're worried about is the same as the others, the critical thinking piece, moral and ethical, information, who it's really going out from, whether it's yourself or all AI generated, and the overload of information because of the speed of which this can generate information, overload of information.
Some other good points there. Let's see, Jacob, Jennifer, Kelsey, Kim, and Trevor.
I don't think we
Oh,
picked
there we go. There we go.
I don't think we picked a spokesperson, but I can go ahead. I think one of my colleagues just connected there. So very similar themes. I would say that we talked about the excitement of productivity. One of us was in marketing, so saw definitely, applicability there. And then kind of interestingly enough, Trevor, I think it was Trevor, works for NEDF in evaluating and helping Indigenous clients through business plan development. And I have been through that process with that organization and did it pre-ChatGPT. So I use that as a bit of a kind of an example to say, I'm really glad I did it once on my own without the ChatGPT tools. And I sort of tested my thinking in a new expansion using ChatGPT as a starting point, but really concerned with that critical thinking piece. Like if I had never done one before and just sat down and plugged in some parameters for a business plan, I don't know if I would be as effective as having had to really think myself and put the pieces together with the support of groups like NADF, rather than starting there and then going in. But we talked about, I asked him, did he feel that it would be something he would be comfortable asking clients when they're working with them? Did you use ChatGPT as a starting point? Like, are you comfortable asking people that? Because I think you'd want to know that, and not in a critical way, but it might help you in your role to know if somebody's used the tool, so then you can help them, put in the other pieces that might be missing from ChatGPT. So that's kind of the nature of our conversation. It was really around how do you use it? And because I mean, it's just gonna proliferate. So how do you make people not feel bad for using it actually, but then support them in the critical thinking piece, which is going to be missing. And I made the comment that I'm glad my kids went to school when they did, and that they had to write essays from scratch and research and find things, but I'm an old English major from way back, so that's my bias. So worried about critical thinking, really excited about productivity and increase.
Excellent. I'm seeing some of the same themes, but we do have different twists. Let's see. I think I haven't done this one. Christy, James, Janie, Liz, and Ryan.
Yeah, so I'll be the spokesperson. Yeah, so we discussed many of the same things everyone has been talking about. So definitely it's helping us in productivity. If you're struggling with writing something, as I'm not a writer, it's a great thing to prompt, right? So you can get prompts and how to write. That way, it'll be good that way. But in the bad sense that people are losing the ability to write, right? They're going to be relying on this. And in a good sense that it can free up some extra time, right? But in a bad sense, saying if you're asked to do a lot of writing and they know you can do it quicker with GPT, maybe they'll ask you to do more. Like you can overload it because they know, you can do things quicker now. So you're getting more on your plate that way. Might happen as well. And again, it's definitely a difficult time to be a teacher. Because now we have to think about this stuff, right? So it's that field is going to be things are going to definitely be changing in that way. But then I just saying I'm playing with the not just for writing, but I'm playing with the image right now, and I have an image with there's something in the foreground I need to remove, and I'm not good with Photoshop. I'm not one that would be able to do that, but I'm doing it on Canva right now with all this ChatGPT just tell it to remove, and it's removing the foreground on my photo. So it's super helpful in many ways for sure, but there's also the downsides. Oh, and we also talked about liability. So, I mean, if you're doing something and are you liable? Is ChatGPT liable? Like if something bad happens from the advice it gave you, right? Then you have to think about liability in that way as well.
That is a new one that we haven't had. And yeah, so many things, right? I hate it when it's a bummer like this. All right. David, Jen, MJ, and Noella.
Yeah, I guess I can speak on that. I mean, MJ brought up the funding application and we all went, oh my God, that would make things so much easier. So I think that when you're looking at the practicality of it, I think with something like applications for funding, I would be curious to be on the other end, and sometimes I am, just to see what those funding applications, if they start to look the same. But I think when you're looking at those type of structured documents, I think they could be very useful and could really speed things up quite a bit in funding applications. We were concerned about the reliability and even myself about trustworthiness of both the translate and things like financial advice. I know Ryan is on here. There's some hesitation there and it'll take a while, but David on our group had mentioned that the translate is actually quite good. So when we pay for translation, so I think that if it is a reliable source of translation, I think that's a great tool. From the creativity, if it's, when you're going into Canva and you're using that, I mean, if you're creative, it's a rabbit hole. It's, you can get lost in there when you get so much thrown at you and you've got a creative mind, it sometimes is a little harder to do it, but it's wonderful to have those tools. But we were all looking forward to funding applications using it for that. I think it'll be great for that. It saves a lot of time.
Oh my gosh, there's just so much stuff that we can talk about there. And let me address a few things. I do have some points I want to go through. Let's see. Let me just make sure I have made some of these points as well. ChatGPT is the smartest intern you've ever had. Like I said, it's a master's degree, free, master's level intern who sits on your shoulder, does research for you, writes for you, does all kinds of things for you for free 24/7. Kind of overwhelming. I do have some resources for the text to image things that we played around with. You can look at those later. The secret workaround is Bing, the Microsoft Edge tool, because like I said, I pay extra to get the 4th version of GPT and better access via ChatGPT itself, that site. But Microsoft has invested billions, I think. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I don't think so, into OpenAI's tool, and it's all going to be integrated into Microsoft very soon. And it's integrated into their search engine, and it is the most recent version. So you'd have the one I'm paying for on there. Why do I keep paying for it? I don't know. We're going to go through the concerns, and y'all had quite a few. I'm going to talk about some of the ones you had and some of the other ones. This is the guy who heads ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an incredibly limited but good enough at some things to create a misleading impression of greatness. It's a mistake to be relying on it for anything important right now. It's a preview of progress. We have lots of work to do on robustness and truthfulness. That's the guy who made it, who is saying that. So we know that there are a lot of limitations that are happening in the ChatGPT world itself. And like I said, OpenAI, when they released this, couldn't figure out what went crazy, because this has been around for a couple, 3 years. And they were like, why is this happening? But it was the first mass introduction to this, and it's gone crazy. Somebody, I love this, explained it as the best mansplainer in the world, because it'll say, like, a long time ago, it gets better every day, but a long time ago I asked it for a bio for me, and it said the Pulitzer Prize winning author. Okay, I haven't yet won a Pulitzer for my books. I'm sure the committee's calling any day now, but right now I'm pretty much just a darn good author. And it makes up facts, and that is one of its big limitations. It also starts hallucinating. That's what they call it, when it just kind of starts babbling and doing weird things. Like in the early days, when you asked it to write something, it would literally start writing the words blah, blah, blah. It would just blow its own mind and couldn't do it. So these are some of the limitations. But every time you say, oh, it's not there yet, I want you to add the word yet. That word yet, or add the word today, is so important because it is improving so much every single day. Let's talk about some of the limitations that we know about. Education being one of the biggest concerns ever. Y'all, think about this. All of us grew up without this. All of us went to school without this. This has only been in existence really since November 30th, 2022. So we did not have it. All of us had blank pieces of paper or blank computer screens and pens, and we sat here like this, trying to figure out what we were going to write on that page, how we were going to organize an essay, how we were going to present an idea, how we were going to put together an email, what we were going to add to our resume. All of us had these moments. Those moments are gone. The blank page moments are gone, because any second of any day, you can use these tools to create a draft of something that you can work with. The processing power, the critical thinking power that we used to stop and look at that paper and figure out how it was going to be on there, the need for that is gone. This is going to affect education profoundly. Now, right now, you might say, oh, well, there are tools out there that apparently can find out if something has been written by AI. Indeed, I have managed to fool them pretty easily, because I fed it. It knows me because I'm kind of famous. I've written a bunch of books, right? It knows me. I can say, write a description of Beth Z and what she does and her writing style. It nailed it. And then I said, use that writing style to zhuzh up this article. And it used it, and then I ran it through those plagiarism checkers, or those filters. It did not catch that it was AI written, because I had done it. Now, my sister is a middle school teacher. Those kids are not smart enough to twist it enough to get results that don't look computer generated yet. Like someone said, you can say things like put in 5 spelling mistakes and get it to try to not look like it was generated. But I guarantee those of you who are hiring people and you get the cover letters, you're going to see a quality increase in cover letters. I was an English teacher for a long time at community colleges, and I taught some of the rudimentary writing classes. And I can't tell you how excited I am for some people, because there are some people who speak really well, are brilliant, and they cannot express themselves on paper. And as soon as I saw this, I'm like, what a great equalizer to have them, maybe they had an English teacher who really berated them and they never developed those skills. That's a great equalizer, so that those people can get their communication out now, and it's so much easier. But I also saw immediately that we have lost a crucial step in our development thus far, the development we've all depended on, to education. Think about training in your industry. Think about the applications, all these different things. When people look like they have their stuff together on paper, it might not be them having their stuff together. So you're right. Education, college, grammar school, middle school, they're all going to be using it, and it's something that we have to deal with and start thinking through how we're going to do it. One of the suggestions I have is just bring it above board in your applications, in your pieces. Say, hey, we know you're probably going to use ChatGPT. Use it this way to generate ideas so that we can really see you. Use it to come up with a different take and keep it open. And I think you're going to see some people trying to guide people to that way. And then I think you're going to see some people still cheating. Content overload. You have no idea how many words in the past 2 years were generated by these things. When I was using these tools, Jasper was the one I mainly used. I probably own licenses on about 20 of them. Jasper was the one I used the most. It was really the most famous. And when this first came out, I went to their offices in 2021, in February of 2021, and I met with them and I said, what is happening? And then they held that conference. So the people who were using it at the beginning were these SEO writers with pardon my French, crap content that you get, when you Google 5 things to do when there's 5 feet of snow on the ground or whatever, and they're just writing content to get just the clicks. That happened. But think about this. All those words are being created, but search engines are changing, because now on the Microsoft search homepage, you have ways to ask those questions where you don't have to go to the site. Bard, I know we're not using that yet, but Bard from Google will give you that background and those references and allow you to play around with those and see where the information comes from. But now, because right now when we Google something or when we search for something, we have to go to the sites that are listed with the information on there. Google has been putting a little bit more snippets on the front page, so we might not have to go through, but it's going to some place that wrote it and bringing it to us. Now it's writing it itself in original format. So all those people who are focused on SEO and things may or may not benefit from writing more words. Another concern people have is job security. We are down to the last minute, so I'm gonna leave you with this. I just realized we were down the last minute. I think we've had some great conversations. The privacy issue. Let's talk about that real quick. The privacy issue is critical. And what companies are doing is they are buying the API and they are buying systems and creating their own inside their own firewall with their own information. So it has accurate information about their company and what they have, and the information that their people are feeding into there is private. ChatGPT itself just created a little button that says keep it anonymous and don't give this data back. They just created it like last week, because before all that was used to train as well. So we did talk about a lot of things. We did get some information. I hope this gives you an overview, and I'm going to leave you with one last mind-blowing fact that to me is breaking through in all kinds of different ways. Today, I read an article that about some research they have with using this technology to mind read, and they had great results from this one small study where they trained it for the person, right? It had to be a little bit individually trained, but they could quite a bit of the time, what was the percentage? Quite a bit of the time get accurate information from mind reading the neurology pulses or what have you. You can see how technical I am, but mind reading what people were thinking because of this technology. So we're going into all kinds of areas in health and science beyond this that we've never thought of. That is all I have for you today. I think we answered some questions. I think y'all had a chance to talk about it. Is everybody happy with what you learned and how this went? Give me a thumbs up. All right. And those of you who are on Facebook right now are probably not giving me a thumbs up, but psychologically, I know you're there. I have a big exit. Thank you very much. Here we go. My big finish.
Our nerdy time is through, but Beth Z is always here for you. Your nerdybestfriend.com.
You're muted again. Thanks, Beth. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, NEOnet Porcupine, for supporting our Reimagined Resiliency series. Caisse Alliance for supporting today's session with Beth. NEOnet for partnering to host. Thanks, MJ, for doing the introduction. Thank you to all our attendees for joining. Follow the chamber on social media so that you can see our upcoming sessions. And for those of you who participated and joined today, I'll send the recording, I'll send the links that Beth promised, and you'll get that in your inbox later today. So thanks, everyone. Beth, enjoy your day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll probably get you back in Timmins at some point, and maybe when it's snowing again. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day.